This is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. I like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahushai, call for in line Yahawah, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Bakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Rat is our Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Schwab on the one back at you with another lesson. And going into the title, War is Everywhere. Breaking news strikes on Iran. All right. And I'm gonna try not to make it too long because it's already 4:30 in the morning. All right. But I was just up watching a brother's video. And basically, the big talk right now is the strikes that happened. I think it was like 2 hours and a half ago, 2.5 hours ago, something like that. You had strikes basically on Iran from USA and Israel. All right, which, hey, man, that's beautiful to hear because prophecy is playing out according to the scriptures. All right, so now the United States is in that shit, you see. And we know that, as the scripture said, let's grab that, that the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right. And, you had basically America didn't really want to go to war with Iran. All right. But according to Bible prophecy, all right, you were going to have, all right, Israel basically draw out America, all right, to go to war because America's Israel's little bitch at the end of the day. So Jeremiah 50 and 45 says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, and he has taken against Babylon and his purposes that he has proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right. And that just goes to prove, all right, that, hey, the counsel of the Lord, all right, shall always stand according to Proverbs, all right, according to Proverbs 19 and 21. It says, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that shall stand. All right, so the counsel of the Lord is always going to stand according to what? Bible prophecy. Whatever is written is going to happen. All right, whatever is written, it shall come to pass, as the scriptures say. All right, whether they want to or not. Okay, Bible prophecy is in the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and he mustereth the host of the battle. Okay, he's the one that directs the people's steps. All right, and let me just grab this. This is Revelations, all right, 17. At this moment, is not speaking about the allies. This verse is talking about the allies of America turning against them. All right, but the focal point is in verse 17. All right, and what I was trying to say is that right now, with this shit going on with Iran, it has nothing to do with the allies of America. Okay, but the point that I want of this verse in 17, Revelation 17 and 17, for Yahweh has put in their hearts to fulfill his will. You see, and that's the point right there, that the Lord is going to put in their minds, man, what they need to do according to the scriptures, man, because it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh fulfilling his will. Okay, fulfilling his will, as the scriptures tell you in Proverbs. All right, what is that? The 21st verse. All right, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord Yahweh pondereth the hearts. All right, so the point is, all right, NLT, it says, the king's heart is like a stream of water directed by the Lord. He guides it wherever he pleases. All right, so this whole thing of, basically, like I said, America ain't want to go to war. They don't want the sauce, all right. But because the Lord is going to put the spirit on them to go to war, and these things that are happening are Bible prophecy, they're going to play out according to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh will, all right. And look, here it is that the least of the flock drew them out, and basically now they're in the shits. You see, so now they ain't got no choice but to come to war, all right. And what you're hearing right now is the heat up. All right, just like when you would play back in the day, NBA Jam. All right, and the video games, you would hear the guy saying it's heating up. Well, that's what it is right now. All right, things are heating up on a very high level. All right, and like I said, I'm not gonna make this too long because I'm gonna go on the highways and edges tomorrow and speak about it. All right, but all right, the Lord is fulfilling his will. Okay. And what you're hearing right now is wars and rumors of wars. Okay. Which it tells you that in Matthew 24. All right. And matter of fact, you know what? Let me grab it from Mark, because I always grab it from Matthew 24. All right. This is Mark Salakia 13. And let's take it from 7. It says, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows." Okay. So, the end is not yet, because why? The Lord has to do everything in chronological order. All right. He has to establish Esau to make him, mandate that RFID, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast. All right. And then eventually, all right, World War III will kick off in its entirety, where America will be destroyed by, Russia, China, Iran, all these other nations, and then also the allies of America are turning against them and conspiring against them also to, as the scriptures tell you in Revelations, the 17th chapter, the 16th verse, that the beast shall hate the whore, all right, and shall make her, shall burn her with fire. Okay, that's the plague that's coming, all right, to America. It's going to be burned with fire according to Zechariah 14 and 12. And it says, uh, "And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth." All right. And that's speaking about the missiles. All right. Pretty much, melting these people. All right. As the scriptures tell you in Second Ezra's. Second Ezra 16 and what's that? 4. Um, yeah, I'll take it from 9. It says, "A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence." You see, the earth quaketh. Why? Because of the missiles, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up in waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord Yahweh, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, and his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again, again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. All right, so that's speaking about those thermonuclear missiles. Okay, but what you see going on right now, all right, is now that these devils have put, uh, you know, have dropped missiles, okay, on Tehran, which is going into Iran, all right, that's going to have them raging in wrath, as the scriptures tell you in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, all right, verse. Let's grab it from. Um, let's grab it from 30. It says also the Carmenians. All right, when you go into the Carmenians, those are, the modern day Persians. All right, it goes into the Persians, which is the modern day Iranians. All right, it says, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So now we have to be, prepared for being on high alert, because somehow, some way, they're going to try to waste a portion of the Assyrians, all right, which that's America, all right, whether it be some type of air bases, some type of bases that they have somewhere else in another country, or a place here in America, just a actual portion of this land. Okay, but we know that they're raging in war, that they're raging in wrath now, because these attacks were made. Okay, see, these devils tried to make a peace treaty and they ain't want it. Okay, which it wouldn't have mattered even if they did, all right, make peace treaties, because this devil's not, he's known to be a covenant breaker anyway. All right. But let me grab this real quick. This is First Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, you have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. All right. So, whether they have made a peace treaty or not, all right, peace was spoken, safety is spoken of on a daily basis here. All right. Everything that's happening around us, even as far as, them making this move, okay, on Iran, they try to say it was for the peace and the safety of the Americans. Okay. And look, sudden destruction came out of nowhere, you see. So this is, Bible prophecy playing itself out according, all right, to what is written. All right, this is Second Ezra 15, and let me go back to that, all right, in 30. And it says, also the Carmenians, the Iranians, raging in war, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. All right, which you go into all these different Ishmaelites. All right, they're gonna also have the upper hand. All right, and they're gonna come together, to basically wage war. Okay, remembering their nature, because Ishmael goes into wild disease. So they're gonna go back to that wild nature that they've always been into, blowing shit up. Okay. And it says, then these shall be trouble bled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Syrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their host shall they and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. All right. And, going again to, there might be some type of inside attack being done here. All right. Regardless of what happens, we know that it's all of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We know that something big is definitely about to happen now that these devils have dropped, all right, missiles on Tehran. Tehran. All right, so let me grab real quick this video, all right, of these damn devils. All right, I'll show you real quick his little speech that he had just brought out. I thought I had it on deck. Damn, it was just on too. Live. Um, if that ain't fucking Satan. Hold on real quick. It's coming up. So this is a little something right now that you can see is live. It's crazy because they're always trying to attack during the night, all right? Just like how they did Venezuela, all right? And they're trying to take down the main generals right now, which that's gonna rage. That's gonna bring more rage and wrath upon the Carmenians, man. All right, and the fact that that's how Esau was trying to move is wild. All right, damn man, where's that damn video I just had? Let me see if I find it again. Hold on. No, here we go.
Short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting
and that's spiritual that they've always been chanting that for so long, death to America, because that's what's coming to America, man. All right. America's going to be destroyed from California to New York City, man, never to be inhabited again, according to Isaiah, the 34th chapter. Okay, so it's beautiful to hear that. All right, and at the end of the day, we say that in Hebrew all day long. All right, a Bible ball. Why? Because that's what's coming to America, whether they like it or not, whether they try to censor us, whether they, want to come to people's, houses looking for people that are speaking against America. Who the hell cares? All right. The word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, the spirit of prophecy is speaking, all right, loud and clear. All right.
United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel.
And what they're trying to do is they're trying to attack Iran, where he wants to get rid of their missiles. He wants to get rid of all their nuclear power, which that shit's not going to happen, man. Because you have Russia that's a guard onto them, according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter. So you could go and take their missiles now, right? You could take all their weapons now, but for the simple fact that they have China on their side, they have Russia on their side, all them, those are powerhouses, man. All they got to do is go set up shop right where Iran is, and that's it. They're gonna have nuclear power once again. Okay, which is not going to get that far, man. They're not going to allow that to happen, China, Russia, because this is a source of their, oil, man. Okay, which that's pretty much why you have Israel. Pretty much Israel and United States going over there to wage war, not only because it's Bible prophecy, but because you know how Esau is. He wants to take everybody's resources, man. So Iran is known for their oil. All right. So once they could take over the resources, they could control even more. All right. But that's the pride of this devil's heart. that has deceived them, that thinking that he could go all the way to the Eastern Hemisphere, all right, and take shit over there, man. Okay. And another thing that was just being spoken of, brothers was just bringing it out in the video I was watching, that it came out and was leaked that the reason you have the Gerald Ford ship, all right, that's basically has all the toilet problems right now with all the shit clogging up, is because the men on that boat were actually clogging up the toilets themselves with t-shirts because they didn't want to go to war for Israel. You see, so go figure that. Go imagine that. You see, all right, because they really truly weren't ready for war. They're not ready for war at all. Okay, like I keep saying, these devils don't want the sauce with these nations. These nations are prepared for war. The scriptures talk about how Joel, right? Let me grab that real quick. It says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles," right? Let the weak say, "I am strong," man. That's the spirit that these other nations are in. All right. See, America already had their time where they were strong. All right. America already, made it to that point. All right, where they were the powerhouse, but they're no longer that powerhouse no more. Why? Because first of all, they you got a bunch of niggas that just joined the military for the love of money. All right. Two, you got a bunch of people that are effeminate as hell in these militaries now, man. All right. I'm talking about the American military. All right. A bunch of homo ass, fagonometry ass niggas that's involved. All right. That are not ready to really go out there and be built for war. All right. So that's why they pretty much had, the Gerald Ford, all right, being clogged up because they were trying to show that they didn't want to go out there. All right. But see, the Lord's got the spirit on them to go out there anyway for war. All right. So this is, let me grab that real quick. Joel, all right, 3:9. And it reads, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." You see, so the ones that were once, weak, all right, are now strong because they're showing their teeth also. They have thermonuclear missiles now. They have the power to go to war with America, you see. So America really don't want that sauce, man, because they see that their society's collapsing. They see that everything around them is collapsing. Okay. And they're under that strong delusion and that pride that's got them, going, thinking that their plan is going to work, man. All right. This is Jeremiah, the brother Shalom, YAHAWAH'S Shabrakatah, unto you. This is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, "Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home." Yeah, this devil could care less about his own, his own home. All right. Here it is that this is why you're going to have eventually, according to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, you're going to have Russia, all right, come to the place of the unwalled villages. All right. Because this devil out there waging war on all these other countries, all right, but has no protection here. All right. See, they're going to try to depend on their defense system, but that defense system's not going to be able to help, man. When the Lord said that, pretty much the spirit of the Lord is going to be in all the missiles when they come this way. Okay. As the scriptures tell you in the second chapter of Joel, that they should not break their ranks. All right. They're not going to thrust one another. All right. They're just going to go exactly where they need to be because the spirit of the Lord is going to be on them. Right. It says, "Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death." All right. Yeah. Because that's what this devil's all about. He is made to, bring death to the world. He is made to, bring hell upon the world and all these nations. Okay. Scriptures say that he, in Revelations, the 6th chapter, that he's made to take peace from the earth. You see, so everything around him is death and hell. All right. And it says, "And cannot be satisfied." He's not satisfied with what he got, but gathereth unto himself all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And eventually he going to do that by the way of the RFID. All right. He going to gather all these nations together, try to make them, bow down to the system. All right. And because the pride of this damn devil, he's gathering all these nations together already, but it's going to be to conspire against them for war, man. All right. Jeremiah 51:30 says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. You see? So they don't want to fight. All right. They're not ready to go to battle because they're not built, all right, for that type of war. All right. So going back to what I said earlier, the least of the flock was what was going to draw them out, which was these small hatters. All right. They started the shit, and now here they go. They have to go out there and fight for war because, like I said, Israel, all right, America's Israel's little, baby back. Okay. So whatever Israel says, they have to follow it. Okay. So it says they have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. You see, and yeah, they are like women, man. You know, because they doing all types of shit that women would do. All right, the fact that you got these people out here clogging up toilets, that's some woman shit. Women throw a whole bunch of toilet paper down the drain or some whole bunch of damn tampons and shit. Some bugged out shit. This is Isaiah 13:17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Isaiah 13:18. Their bows also shall dash their young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. All right, and this is going into the Medes being stirred up. All right, for war, because the Lord is putting that Soviet Union spirit, back into them. All right, that's why you see them waging war. As a matter of fact, now that you say that, let me see if I find that real quick. They actually just did an attack on. Let me grab that real quick. Show you that they did an attack on Ukraine, dropping. Forgot what the phosphorus missiles. All right, and they got a whole bunch of shit burning up out there right now. All right. Then you have who else was the ones that damn, it was another two separate nations were shooting war also. Oh, it was Pakistan and Afghanistan. All right. They also are in war right now. See, so war is everywhere, man. This is why World War III is imminent. All right, let me see if I find that. Oh, here we go.
All right, here goes your world news. We have Russia right now dropping the phosphorus bombs on Ukraine. Look like it could be a Saturday too. These are burning people. This is burning the whole neighborhood, burning cities. And yeah, this is probably a mess. The rest of this footage is pretty graphic, so go ahead and look up the video if you want to see the rest. It gets pretty wild. We also have the Gerald R. Ford that has arrived at Israel's coast. So it looks like everything is in position to hit Iran. All the countries across the Middle East is telling their citizens to go away. So it's the UK and France are telling their citizens get out of Israel, get out of UAE, get out of Saudi Arabia, all these areas that are close to Iran, because they know the United States is about to strike because we did not strike a deal.
And they did it anyway, you see? So they did that. All right, that strike came about through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH'S. All right. So let me finish up with the brother guy. It says Isaiah 13:19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellency shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, because eventually America is going to be destroyed, all right, never to be inhabited again. Just like where your Sodom and Gomorrah is, no one could live on that land, man. All right, because you still have the sulfate, all right, the ashes, all of that shit is still inhabitable. All right, and that's how America's gonna be. All right, from California to New York City, never to be inhabited again, according to Isaiah the 34th chapter. Is gonna be a habitation for dragons, man. All right, for the let me just grab that real quick. I'll just get straight to the point. 34, Isaiah 34, and let's take it from 11. It says, but the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it, and he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness. And that's beautiful because Babylon the Great goes back to the word Babel. All right. Babylon goes back to Babel, which means confusion. So, you know, because they cause so much confusion, they're going to be put into that confusion state of mind, you see? All right. And it's not even a state of mind. They're going to just be put into that state of confusion because this place is going to be destroyed. A place that was once, you know, up and running, and it was this great country. All right. This great place to be living in. All right. Is going to be finally be brought down. All right. As the scriptures tell you in Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? Babylon has fallen. It has become a habitation of devils, right? Of every foul and unclean bird. All right. So, and the fact that it says the cormorant, when you go into that cormorant, all right, if you look it up on Google, it's native to North America. All right. So that shows you that it's speaking about actual America. Okay. So the cormorant is native, meaning this is the birthplace of the cormorant, America. All right. There's no other place in the world that it was native to. Now, you might find the cormorant in another country because, you know, in these days, these people will take, you know, animals and bring them to different countries and try to breed them in different countries. But the cormorant is native to North America. All right. So that's a sign that the Lord has given us to show you that that is speaking about America, this chapter. All right. And then it says, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing. And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in her fortress, in the fortresses thereof. And it shall be a habitation of dragons and a court for owls. The wild beast of the desert shall meet with the wild beast of the island, and the satrap shall cry to his fellow, and the screech owl also shall find rest there. All right. And find herself, also shall find rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. It says, there shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. All right. So this is just going to be a place of just foul birds, man. Ravens, crows, vultures. All right. And those are all birds that are harbingers of death. All right. They're all representation of omens, man. All right. So showing you that it's going to be great death here in America. Okay. So let's see what else the brother got. This is Isaiah 13:20. It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. You see, so it's never going to be inhabited again. All right, it's going to be, you know, up in smoke from generation to generation. All right, which really means for a very long time until that fire gets put out on its own. Just like when you make a barbecue and you have you know, a pit of fire, you know, once you turn it off, it starts, you know, you have the embers and the glowing, all right, of the wood, and it pretty much, you know, once you're done with it, it's still burning and it goes out little by little. That's how it's going to be with America, but it's just going to be for a very, very long time. Because remember, this place is going to look like a lake of fire. All right. So for it to look like a lake of fire, and this is a big piece of land. All right. It's going to take a very long time for those embers and that fire to be put out on its own. All right. Basically, it's going to be put out through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH'S whenever he feels that it's completely fit. All right. For it to be burnt out. Okay. Because remember, it's going to reset everything out here. All right. So with that being said, let me finish this up and I'll pretty much wrap it up. Because like I said, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to get me some sleep for tomorrow. All right. But this is 15, and which I did already finish that, but I'll read it again. What was that? 33 says, in the land of the Syrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them in the host and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. All right. So going back to what I was saying, you know, these Carmenians, all right, these Iranians are going to be raging in wrath now. All right. That they've been striked upon. All right. And I'm pretty sure they're already ready to strike back, which I think I was looking at something in this live feed that it was saying that they actually did strike back. I could be wrong. Let me make sure, because I've been kind of watching it. Let me see. I just seen something on it. Trump goes to war with Iran. Oh, Israel strikes. Yeah, I'm not gonna look for it. I know I just seen something about saying that they might have struck back. All right, but let me finish this video and I'll close it out. A little bit of it.
In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq.
And the fact that they say that they're just straight terror when America's the biggest terrorist on planet Earth. All right, these Edomites is the biggest terrorists on planet Earth. All right, here they get away with everything that they do. All right, see, they always trying to point the finger at somebody else to cover their own ass, man. And see, this is why you're gonna have eventually all these nations come up against it. All right, even their own allies, because everybody's pretty much sick and tired of America, man. All right, because America's just always trying to bully something. All right, and they're no more that. Excuse me, they're no more that bullying country. Okay, because all these nations now have power. All right, they all have their own teeth to show now. Okay, at one point, America was the only one that was pretty much, beasting everybody. All right, and these other countries were scared, but hey, now we live in a new time, man, a different time frame now. All right, where weapons have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, man, and these weapons are now in the hands of all these nations. All right, and now they can actually defend themselves. All right, so that's pretty much why you're gonna have this place be annihilated. All right, so I ain't even gonna play the rest of that video. You can check it out. I'll save some for tomorrow. All right, that's basically just look up on Google, or you could look it up on YouTube. Just put in Trump's speech on the updates of Iran, and it'll come up. And there's just a whole bunch of live feeds right now going on with the strikes. Oh, there you go. It says, okay, here we go.
If you can't read your
phone, it says Iran strikes back right here. Let me see. I just read it. It's on a live feed though. Let me see. Yeah, it says Iran's missiles pierce Israel. Unless this is from something old. I don't think it is because it's live. But it's showing right here. It says on the top right here. Let me see. Oh, it says it on the bottom right there. It says Iran's missiles pierce Israel's Iron Dome as Tehran takes revenge for U.S. strikes. All right, so supposedly they're already retaliating. All right, and that retaliation is going to get real. It's going to get real crazy, man. All right, so remember, America's on high alert. Anything can happen at this time. All right, remember, they're going to waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So we got to be on point, stay prayed up, but don't panic because this ain't the end, because you have to have that MOTB, that RFID, the mark of the beast, be set to be made mandatory first in order for this place to be annihilated. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that through the spirit. The water, brother, for the precepts. I appreciate that. May YAHAWAH'S be with you and your household. And I'll leave it at that through the spirit. Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah YAHAWAH'S, call the Lord and La Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWAH'S, Bahashem, Barakatah. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh. Shalom.